Part 2 has much sharper teeth than part 1 had. Enjoy that. I call some people cowards and things like that. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Ptony, your friendly Catholic vlogger. And this is a series. Let's just dive in, shall we? Page 9. There's two quotes that I want to read from page 9. Here's the first one. He says, "In Mississippi, I am required to inform women that having an abortion increases their risk for breast cancer. A fraudulent lie. A lie for which no scientific evidence exists. I tell them what the law requires, and then in the same breath, I explain to these women that it's simply not true." This whole section of the book is talking about all the different required pamphlets that Dr. Parker is supposed to give and all the different required things he's supposed to say. I don't think that Dr. Parker is trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes here. I don't think that he's lying when he says that this is a lie. I think he believes that. And it also just raises the question, because this is a video about questions, that raises the question, is it a lie? What do the scientific studies say? Because I've been told that it's not a lie. I've been told that, no, this is actually scientifically proven. So there's, is there no evidence, or is it scientifically proven? That can't possibly be both. What do scientific studies say about the link between abortions and breast cancer? Is there a link? Who has done these studies? How did they do these studies? And what do these studies say? Also on page 9, now he's talking about a pamphlet that he's required to give to all his clients, which, this is the direct quote, which repeatedly uses the loaded term unborn child interchangeably with the more medically accurate embryo or fetus, and promotes abstinence as the surest way of birth control. If I could refuse to distribute it, I would. You know, if I was talking to Dr. Parker, I feel like this is definitely a point of the conversation where I would concede a lot of his points. How accurate are these terms that we throw around? How accurate is it to use the word child when we're describing the preborn? What is the definition of child? If child represents a stage of human development, that might not actually accurately describe, you know, the preborn. A child doesn't describe adults, although I act like a child. I am an adult, right? It would be inaccurate, medically speaking, to describe me as a child. That being said, I don't know, like this is just a fascinating thing to ponder, because who are these pamphlets written for? I don't think it's written for a medical community. It is written in a medical context. So usually, I'm not big into insisting that my definitions get used. I am insistent on the idea of let's find common definitions for these words when we're disagreeing on something, because sometimes an entire disagreement can just be a question of not having the same definitions. And I don't care which definitions we use, just can we use the same ones? Can we be on the same page? So that's an interesting thought. What are the official definitions and what definitions should we use? Might not go down that path quite as much as some of these other questions though. Page 11 has an interesting quote about resolve. Oh, I dropped my notes. I love this quote. He says, "And for her part, a woman who wants an abortion must demonstrate superhuman determination to seek it out. By the time we meet in a clinic waiting room, her resolve is often the most defining thing about her. It is matched only by my own." All right, so from one pro-lifer to presumably another, although if you're pro-choice, thank you so much for giving me so much time. And please let me know what your thoughts are too, because I really need to listen. But from one pro-lifer to presumably another, can we approach this from a marketing perspective for a second and just talk about who are these women that we're trying to reach in theory, right? These people that once they're already at the abortion facility, what are they like? Who are they? And how are we going to reach them? Dr. Parker describes them as determined, as having intense resolve. And so personally, like going back to those picketers, this is more of a hot take than a question, but personally, I don't think the idea of picketing and hurling insults and trying to wear people down, they're already resolved. They're prepared for that. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Have you ever been stubborn about something and then somebody tried really hard to convince you to do the other thing? What does it do? It makes me more stubborn. That's what happens. So what's the best way to approach resolve if we want any change to happen? think it's compassion. That, the only thing, maybe not the only thing, but the best thing to break resolve is compassion. But that, that it goes down whole rants, and we're going to move on to really what this video is about. Next question is also from page 11. This is interesting. He talks about the preborn. Dr. Parker seems to be impassioned here, and he says, the people who pass the new laws concern themselves with fetuses, but these are humans I am caring for. Real people, not merely biological organisms with the potential to become such. Not merely biological organisms with the potential to become real humans, real people. This is such a fundamental question in the life issues conversation in our nation, right? What makes a human being a person? Dr. Parker makes it clear right here with just a parenthetical statement almost. He does not believe that the preborn are real people the same way that adults are. And that's tremendously important context for whenever I'm talking, like if I'm talking to someone who does not believe that the preborn are humans and I'm talking about preborn rights, we're not going to be on the same page. So let's take a step back. I really, really just want to know, Dr. Parker, why do you believe that the preborn are not human beings the same way that an adult is? Yes, I recognize a different stage of development, but what gives a human being personhood? And why does a preborn not have that? That's a fundamental question. It's a very fundamental question, and I expect he'll explore it more in the future. Next question is on pages 11 and 12. Oh, this is a longer one, but this one hits the heartstrings. Ready? He's talking about how the women who come to see him talk about the men in their lives. Right, because pregnancy implies that there was a man involved at some point. So he says, sometimes they use words like my boyfriend or my husband, and sometimes they speak more euphemistically, as in this person I'm dealing with, or I don't usually have sex. One act of sexual intercourse has brought these women here, but on the day of their abortion, the men are on the outskirts of their lives, waiting for them in trucks or SUVs they keep idling in the parking lot or by the curb. This, the abortion clinic, is a woman's world. Honestly, this gets me a little riled up. I see this as a huge red flag. To me, it's a red flag that men don't go into these buildings where women have abortions. Not because I think men need to be involved in every part of a woman's life, right? No, what I'm saying is, I want to know why they're not there. If these women don't want the man to be there, okay, fine, like I recognize that. But how often is it just that these men are cowards? Is that why they're not there? Are they just being cowards? Are they too busy? What's going on? This is a red flag. This is a huge red flag if you ask me that. And I feel like there's a lot more that would come up if we explored it, so I might explore it. If you can't tell, my suspicion is that these men are cowards. I mean, if you're going to be pro-choice, why don't you give some support to this woman in your life? Or whatever. Well, that was fun. Let's take advantage. I'm going to make this quick because I want to go on to the next part, but we're going to give another shout out to another patron. Michael. I like Michael so much. In the comment section, if you're interested in commenting, I especially would be interested to hear what people think of that cowardly thing, the red flag. Bouncing that around in my head a lot lately. So let me know what your thoughts are. For now, though, God bless and ciao.